In this lesson, lesson 3.6, our essential question is, repeat after me, what are some ways to remember differences? Remember, differences are the answers to subtraction problems. All right, go ahead and open your book to page 193. Go ahead and pause the video to do that. And on this page, we have a picture of Gina's model. And what I'm getting ready to do is I'm going to read to you a story about Gina's model, and then you are going to think about what number sentence or equation that you can write to show the story that I read to you. So listen carefully. Here's the story. Gina placed 4 color tiles inside the circle, and she placed 3 color tiles outside the circle. What addition sentence could you write to show this model? Again, she placed 4 color tiles inside the circle and 3 color tiles outside the circle. Pause the video and go ahead and write on the first line what addition sentence or addition equation would show this model. All right, one sentence that you could have wrote is 4, the number that are inside, plus 3, the number that are outside, and that equals 7. What I want you to do now is think about a different addition sentence or equation that you could write to show Gina's model. Go ahead and pause the video and think of another addition sentence. Think about related facts. Pause the video and write your second addition sentence. All right. Your other addition sentence, you could write the flip-flop fact for 4 plus 3, which would be 3 plus 4, and that also equals 7. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the model. It's going to end up the same, but what I read to you is going to be a little bit different, so make sure you're listening carefully. Gina had 7 tiles inside the circle, and she moved 3 tiles to the outside of the circle. What subtraction sentence could you write to show this model? Again, and I'm going to actually use some little cubes. She had 7 cubes inside the circle, and she moved 3 cubes outside of the circle. So what subtraction fact could we show to that shows this model? Go ahead and pause the video and think about what subtraction fact. All right, you should have come up with actually a related fact because we still have the same number of tiles, and that subtraction fact should start with the largest number in your family, which is 7, because she started out with 7, and she moved 3 to the outside. So we know if 7, take away 3, we know is 4, because there's 4 still inside. Is there another subtraction sentence that you could write to show this model that she had 7 and she moved 3 to the outside? Pause the video and write another subtraction sentence. All right, what you could have wrote is, again, you would start with the 7, the largest number, the whole, how many she had all together. And this time we're going to put 4 first because she kept 4 inside. So therefore, how many are outside? And that answer is 3. So what I want you to do is get your YouTube journal out, open up to your next available page, make sure you label that entry 3.6, and I want you to respond to this math talk. Explain how the different facts for Gina's model are related. And if you could, when you write this response, make sure that you use the words whole and part. When comparing, let's use these math words whole and part when you're explaining how the different facts for Gina's model are related. Go ahead and pause the video and write me a nice detailed response to that math talk. All right, if you have written in your math YouTube journal, I would like you to open up to page 194. We're going to look at 2 different strategies for subtracting, for finding differences. The first strategy that we're going to look at is counting back by 1, 2, or 3. And we, on our anchor chart, are calling this strategy the crab crawl. And if you think about the crab crawl, you know that you are on your feet and your hands, and when you walk like a crab doing the crab crawl, you know that you walk backwards. So we're counting back by 1, 2, or 3. Usually you only use this strategy when you're subtracting 1, 2, or 3. So if we have 7 minus 2, if we count back, we start with the 7. So hold that 7 in your hand, and then you're going to count back 2 times. So we have to count backwards from 7. We can't say 1, 2. So we're going to say 7, 6, 5. So we counted back 2. And so we know that 7, 6, 5, 7 minus 2 is 5. All right, let's start with 9 minus 3 now. So we're going to start with 9. We're subtracting 3, so we know we can use this strategy. So we're going to hold our 9 in our hand, 9, and we're going to count back 3. 8, 7, 6. So we know that 9 minus 3 equals 6. So any facts that you see on these next couple of pages where you're subtracting 1, 2, or 3, you may go ahead and use that strategy, the crab crawl. All right, our next strategy that we're going to look at is thinking about a missing addend to subtract. So think about being a detective, and this is my best magnifying glass. You're a detective, and you want to find the missing addend. So again, we need to think about related facts. So we have 8 minus 5. We know if we were to write this as a related fact, we know that the 8 would be at the end, and we would be adding these two smaller numbers. So what would we add to the 5 in order to get 8? Or we could have put the 5 there. So what plus 5 equals 8? 3 plus 5 equals 8. So 8 minus 5 equals 3. So you're looking at related facts when you use this strategy, finding the missing addend, even though we're subtracting. All right, let's go ahead and look at the first problem. The first problem is 6 minus 4. So think about, are you going to use the crab crawl or are you going to use the missing addend strategy? Look what you're subtracting. So you should be using the missing addend strategy because you're subtracting 4. So if we look at the missing addend strategy, again, think about an addition fact. So we know the 6 would be here, it would be the sum because it's the largest number in the family, and we're going to add 4, and we need to find out what we add to 4 in order to get 6. So 4, we know that 4 plus 2 equals 6. Good job. And looking at number 2, we have 10 minus 7. So look and see which strategy you would use. Are you subtracting 1, 2, or 3? Nope. So we're going to use the missing addend strategy. So we have 10 minus 7. Again, think about an addition related fact that would go with this. So we have the 7. What are we going to add to the 7 to get 10? Well, if you know your tens facts, you know that you would add 7 plus 3 to get 10. So if you look backwards, 3 plus 7 equals 10, and that's a good way to check subtraction facts. 2 plus 4 equals 6. All right, let's look at number 3. In this problem, we have 5 minus 2. So look at the first strategy. Are we subtracting 1, 2, or 3? Yes, we're subtracting 2, so we're going to do the crab crawl and move backwards. So we start with our bigger number, 5. Hold that 5 in your hand, and we're going to count back 2 times. So we have 5, 4, 3. So 5 minus 2 equals 3. All right, I want you to go ahead. Remember, sometimes the differences are given first. It doesn't really matter because we know that equal sign just means that both sides need to be balanced. If you're subtracting 1, 2, or 3, use the crab crawl. If you're subtracting something else, use the missing addend strategy. So go ahead and finish this page, and then you'll move over to page 195. And then you are going to complete the mid-chapter checkpoint. On the mid-chapter checkpoint, you'll write your name, you'll write the sums, You'll show how to make a 10 to find a sum, and then write the sum and difference for the related facts and the word problem. All right, go ahead and get busy. After you finish those things, you may just leave your workbook and go ahead and start your stations.